Well, hello and thank you for joining me for another iTWire video with top Australian IT executives. I have with me today Adrian Blount. He is the Director of Cybersecurity Products in the Australia and New Zealand region for BAE Systems Applied Intelligence. Welcome, Adrian, to the program.
Hi Alex, thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Now, before we launch into BAE's announcement, can you please remind us, for those who don't know, what BAE Systems does in the world of cybersecurity, how long it's been doing it, and a little bit of your history in the world of cybersecurity too.
Yeah, not a problem. So BAE Systems has been, I guess, protecting countries and organisations for over 40 years. We have...
Long time?
Yeah, a long time. We have around 80,000 employees in our global organisation, about 3,500 employees in our Applied Intelligence division, and about 150 in Australia. And we bring a range of services to and solutions to our customers in the Australian and global regions as well.
And it's beyond cybersecurity, it's a whole range of business things?
Yeah, so financial crime and cybersecurity are the two main focal points for our Applied Intelligence division.
Sure, and what's a bit of your history? You mentioned before you've been with the company for 2.5 years, but you've got quite a good history in cybersecurity before that.
Yeah, so nearly 20 years in IT and probably about 12 to 15 years in information security realm. Started off as a developer and then doing some networks and engineering, and then moved through Big Four consulting into the role. Yeah.
Sure. Now I know that your big announcement is the launch of email protection services solutions into Australia for the first time, but you've been offering this overseas, and in fact it's been going for some years.
Yeah, so BAE Systems acquired a company in December 2014 called Silver Sky, who've been offering this solution and others for, they've been around for about 14 or 15 years. Right. We have about 3,500 customers on the platform at the moment, operating mostly out of North America, processing around 50 million emails a day through the platform, and about 1 million users, individual users or accounts on the platform today. So, well-established platform, just releasing it to the Asia-Pac region at the moment.
And what are some of its major features and the other products you have around it?
Yeah, so the two the suite that we're releasing at the moment is the email protection services. So that entails a zero-day protection product, a insider threat protection product, some email encryption, and other email security services as well. Yeah, so happy to expand a little bit more on those.
Yeah, please. Well, I mean, the zero-day protection one is one most people will be, they'll prick their ears up because,
very topical.
Yeah, very topical, and presumably, I'm just sort of trying to imagine it. You would obviously learn about the zero-day from that it's been announced, and it does this, and it does this, and it does that, and you block those things from happening, or you stop the attack vector from coming through email.
Yeah, so the research that we've seen says that up to 95% of targeted attacks start with an email. So one of the key things there is obviously being able to stop this attacks at the source. So we've created a zero-day protection platform to identify some of those targeted attacks, not just by looking for the malware and things like that, but by doing analytics on the entire message that contains the malware, and also by instrumenting some of the malware or attachments to an email as well. So rather than sandboxing and things like that that are used by some other vendors, we take a slightly different approach and try and look at what the malware or what the application or message content is doing, and then determine whether it might be malicious or not before sending it through to the end user. So, users are still or primarily the main source of attack, and I think there's some statistics that say that you only have to send 10 emails to have a 90% chance of there being a successful hit on a target with a targeted email or phishing email. So,
and apparently your stats show that 70 to 75% of malware that's targeting organizations is unique to that organization because it's a spear phishing attempt. Yeah,
so the attackers are getting I guess smarter about the way they use their time and their resources, and they want their attack to be successful, and they using open markets where you can buy and trade malware and the services to create it create targeted specific malware once they understand the nature of an organization and the nature of some of that organization's defenses as well. So again, by using something like our zero-day protection service, we can start to detect things without needing to know what it is and what the signature for it is and that sort of stuff. So extending beyond the normal antivirus and malware detection platforms to look for stuff that is brand new and hopefully stop it before it gets to a customer's inbox.
And presumably with everything, as with everything these days, it's cloud enabled to take advantage of all the millions of customers and emails that...
Yeah, so I mean, this space was pretty full of vendors who are offering on-premise appliances and that kind of thing, and that restricted the speed with which they could update capabilities in those platforms, as well as created a barrier to entry for smaller organizations as well. So by bringing this as a platform delivered purely from the cloud, we've been able to offer this to small and large organizations. Our target customer segment is anyone that has email, because that is who has this problem today.
So, I mean, what are the other differences that you can highlight based aside from what you already have on how EPS differs from things like DLP? I mean, does it have a DLP function where it works in the reverse to stop people from sending information out? And
yeah. So I talked about an insider threat prevention solution as well. That's essentially a data management solution for email. So we provide a web-based policy engine that users can configure any number of policies to control inbound and outbound messages from their organization. So whether that's defining rules to capture IP that might be leaving your organization, or applying content-based filtering on messages that might come into your organization as well. So for example, if you wanted to make sure that credit card numbers weren't being sent out over email, you could write a rule that would look for credit card numbers. We have that rule out of the box, and it's just a matter of enabling it so that you don't send credit card numbers via email. Sure. Or you could define, a bid document that only your sales force might be able to send out, or you could define the format of a press release that only your marketing people could send out to make sure those things were sent in a controlled manner.
And with things like encryption and email continuity and archiving, I mean, it's not just for security, but it's a proper email management tool as well. Yeah,
so the broader suite of our email protection services absolutely looks to the availability side as well of protecting email. It's a very critical business tool these days. I think a lot of organizations very much struggle if email isn't working.
Sure.
Probably second behind the internet not working.
Yeah, I mean, it's only the youth who have abandoned email to go to Snapchat or Facebook, but for businesses it's still number one.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, we offer things like archiving solution as well, so that if you need to keep email beyond just keeping what's available online, we provide an off-site archiving solution that you can use, as well as a zero deployment encryption solution. So if you've got either business partners who you need to communicate securely with, or customers who you want to send data securely to, we have a solution that is, again, cloud enabled. You are able to send that securely. And a lot of our customers in the US, where we've been running this for a while, are financial services organizations. So we go through a number of audits with regulators in the United States, including things like the HIPAA and Graham-Leach-Billy Act and things like that as well.
No doubt you'll be alerting all your existing customers here to the new software, but how else will you be targeting the various businesses? Do you have channel partners, or is it direct?
So look, we're looking to establish channel partners in Australia as part of this business, as well as going direct to existing and new customers as well.
Yeah. And how do you think threats are going to evolve over the next 12 months, let alone the next 5 to 10 years? I mean, is there some sort of holographic mind control, email ripping storage virus that might be on the horizon, or is that just my imagination going a bit?
I mean, I think, look, as far as technical threats, I think the world is the oyster of the attackers out there.
Days, yeah.
I think the professionalism that they approach these kinds of attacks, or any attacks with, will continue to increase. We're now seeing organised crime, gangs or groups that exist today because they've got some funding, but I think you'll see almost online Kickstarter type things for attackers to set up a small group that want to make some money essentially, and I think that's changing to become the prime motivation for attacks against organisations. There is the other stuff, industrial espionage and state-based espionage, which is going to become bigger and bigger. Obviously, being a defence and aerospace company, that's a big part of our organisation and our customer base as well.
Absolutely. Now, just to change gears before we close, I always like to ask if you could please share the best piece of advice that you've ever received to help you get where you are today.
I think customer focus. I think having spent a lot of time in consulting and business development roles, I think understanding your customer, their needs and their problems is the number one thing. Whether you're selling products or selling services, is understand the customer and the problem they have before you tell them how to solve it.
Sure. Yeah. Other people sort of said similar things by saying listen. And then they would remind me that I've got 2 ears and 1 mouth.
That's right. That's right.
So, any final messages for iTWire viewers and readers, and for your current and future customers?
No, look, I think just that BAE Systems Applied Intelligence is looking to become one of the key cybersecurity players in the market. We bring a heritage in defence and national defence and defending critical infrastructure, and we leverage that in every product that we bring to market, and can bring that, as I said, 40 years of expertise and experience defending countries to commercial organisations as well.
Well, Adrian, congratulations on the new launch and best of luck rolling it out to Australia.
Thanks, Alex.